kids think I'm cool, but I just pay the checks. Degen Dads, living on the edge. Diapers in crypto, making our pledge. From Bitcoin blocks to NFT stacks, we're riding Web3 and never looking back. Hey, we're the Degen Dads, diapers in DeFi. Two crypto nerds just trying to get by.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Degen Dads podcast. As always, I'm Chris Coffey, joined by my co-host Kyle Wilson, and we have a very special guest today. We have Will, CEO of Cryptoys. And for those of you that don't know about a little bit of the Degen Dads history, we've been talking about
lore.
Cryptoys. Yeah, the little lore here is what, 2023? It feels even sooner than that. You got when did you guys initially launch, Will?
We did the first launch was in late 22, but then the Disney announcement and launch was in May of 23. So that's when, a lot of folks discovered it for the first time.
Yeah, Kyle and I, and Will, we did this is live on Twitter. I think you're tagged in it if you don't mind giving it a share.
Yep.
Yeah, Kyle and I were big into Vivi at that time and for a long time afterwards too. And I think, I can probably speak for both of it. Well, I'll speak for myself. That like lore of that big IP, and being collectors really kind of brought us into the space. And so there was a couple of companies branching out at that time, making these big partnerships. And there's only a few still around, and Cryptoys is one of them. And on top of that, one of the reasons we want to have you on too is we've been talking about Abstract since launch. Both Kyle and I are streaming partners. This is actually live on Abstract as well. I need to make sure that it's actually going. Well, there it is. We've been day ones on Abstract. We're both gold. One of my complaints about Abstract is it's almost impossible to get from gold to plat. I don't know. Do you actually do you use Abstract yourself as a user?
I do. I use the portal and very familiar with the product. Absolutely.
Are you what tier are you?
I need to work my way up. I think I'm on the cusp of gold at the moment. Yeah. I've been too busy behind the scenes. I need to get more active on the trading and all that stuff. Yeah,
it's hard. And even on the trading end, they didn't actually give you a boost in XP until this summer. So, and that's kind of when actually holding stuff gave you a boost. But yeah, it's definitely hard to work your way up. But anyways, I want to, during this episode, it's going to be really casual. Speaking of that, I want to do another icebreaker as well. But we're going to just I want to catch up, where you guys have been, the migration from Flow to Abstract, where you're heading, your own personal IP through Cryptoys. Yep. Also, you're a father yourself, right? Didn't you become a dad during 2023 or that area?
No, so yeah, I am a dad. I have 3 kids, but I'm a veteran at this point, I guess, to say. So my first child, Victoria, was born in 2013. She's now 12. And then Kevin in 2014, he's 11. And then Tyler, who's 4, he was born in 2021. So full house.
Okay. Yeah, definitely full house, man. Yeah. What is that? Is it true? So I have 2. Is it true that the gap, it's easier to go from 2 to 3 than 1 to 2, or?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, for sure. Obviously, I think it depends a lot on, your whole setup, and if the older kids are actively helping with the younger one, then it's a lot easier, right? So if they're involved and they're excited to have a baby brother or a baby sister and they want to help out, that makes a huge difference. But that's an important variable, because some kids they clock out, they want to play video games instead of helping around the house and whatnot. So that could potentially add to the frustration. But for the most part, my kids are very helpful with their younger brother Tyler, and they're good siblings. So yeah, I would say so. So if you're debating, do it, man. Nobody regrets another kid.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's the thing. They only stay little for so long.
Yep.
But I have a 3 and 5-year-old now, but they're only 16 months apart. And I have them at a sweet age. It's no more diaper changes.
Yeah.
They can play independently with each other. It feels nice to not have this newborn that's just a burden. Anywhere you go, they're finally at this fun age.
It needs you to survive.
Yeah, that needs you to survive. But I know it's only a small time frame of life, right? And they're sleeping through the night.
Yeah.
But it's only a small time frame you go through that newborn phase. But man, it's just so sweet once you get out of it and you're just I can sleep.
Yeah, it's good. It's true. I mean, the real escape velocity is when they could use the bathroom by themselves. Then you're really good. It's gotta go to the bathroom. Okay, go to the bathroom.
Right.
But then you miss certain aspects. It's when you're a parent, it's At some point they get older, they become preteens and teens, and you miss just kind of having them on your chest and just like hanging out and things like that, little things like that. So you got to really embrace those moments when you have them, because each phase is different, but they're all rewarding in different ways. So long story short, have the other kid.
Okay. I'll keep
Have more kids.
I'll keep that alpha in mind.
That's the alpha.
All right, man. So just catch us up. Where has Cryptoys been this last, we were both big into it in 2023.
Yep.
A lot happened in the space.
Yeah.
What you guys been up to?
We've been recalibrating, I would say, is the best way to kind of discuss it, right? The market, I think when all of us got into this space, I mean, there was a lot of players. Really, there was VV in the licensed digital collecting space. You have Top Shot, VV. Top Shot came out the gate ripping, right? And really kind of pioneered a lot on the digital collecting front. Then, VV on the licensing, front with a lot of the Hollywood studios. But then you had all these other ones. You had Candy, you had us.
Mm-hmm.
Had McFarlane, still have DC, McFarlane, DC. There was the HRO stuff. There was like so many things. I remember there was the other one with the Looney Tunes stuff. What was that called? Nifties.
Oh yeah, Nifties.
Right. So there was a lot of folks like in the space and really trying to pioneer their own lane. And I think a lot of the initial assumptions and the initial hypothesis were right long term, but the question is, how do you survive long enough in the short to medium term to get to the long term, right? I think we all agree that Web3 digital collecting is the future. The question is, on what time horizon do we get to escape velocity together, right? And this is very common with any entrepreneurial endeavor. You just got to stay in the game long enough, right? At the end of the day, you need to just be around and be lean and efficient and kind of get the company to the other side of whatever market conditions they're in, right? And that goes for any type of early stage startup. So for us, we launched, we raised some capital, and then we were not immune to the macro market conditions just like everybody else, and it was a crazy time in Web3 and NFTs. I think you guys might recall just the timing of when we launched. I know we were talking about it earlier in the stream, but we initially raised capital in 2022, but then we launched the product in late 2022, which was the same week that FTX collapsed. And that was like the market really kind of came out from under us, but yeah, we still pushed through, persevered, tried to sell as many products as possible. But by that point, like the meta out of like NFTs and digital collectibles had shifted to other things. And we found the writing on the wall quickly, because right after that, we had the launch with Disney. There was some success with that. But again, the market just in general, it wasn't large enough of a market to support the way that the product was constructed at the time. So, and then you saw what happened, right? Recur shut down, Bummer, right? All these other products shut down. So we really had to go back to the drawing board and like what works, what doesn't. We got to, recalibrate. And that's what we did. We went through a little bit of a restructure with the company and figured out how we're going to do this sustainably and work with our partners. Thankfully, all of our partners are big long-term believers in the space. They're not here for like, hey, what does it look like this month or next quarter? They believe that these things take time to build and they want to build with long-term partners. So my biggest focus was making sure that the company was in a spot where we could have that longevity and be on the other side of it, right? The number one rule of startups is don't die, right? That's the number one thing. You got to stay alive long enough to get to the other side of things. And that was the main focus. So we recalibrated, we worked with different partners. And the number one thing for us to focus on is how do we onboard 10 million people into this product? And we chatted with a lot of people that could help us achieve those goals. And that led us to the next chapter. We had to make some big, tough decisions to get us there. But we're happy with that we came out on the other side, because a lot of companies didn't make it to the other side. So we're happy that we're here and that we have an incredible relaunch coming with the folks at Abstract. And that's what's been brewing, man. We've been fighting that good fight,
Yeah, totally. I think one of the outliers too was you guys, because a lot of the VB people, like, were a little bit dramatic, new platforms, but Cryptoys was like more widely accepted with the VB crowd. And I think Disney was a big part of it. And I think just you as a founder were a big part of that. and just that positive energy. And I think that that's like what I think like spoke a lot of volumes to a lot of people is just the relatability of all of that. And yeah, I love to see you guys still around and making moves. And obviously, we're going to talk about abstract and
Yep.
like the move there and like maybe like when did you hook up with Luca recently, or like what was your kind of like thought process, and like when did you talk to Luca at all before you guys made the move? Or I'm not sure if you're able to disclose some of those kind of like details, but I know those will be kind of fun for the viewers.
Yeah. So Luca and I know each other from the Miami tech ecosystem, right? We're both Miami guys and based there. So like we've known each other, and he always had great respect for what we built, and he felt it was one of the most polished consumer products in all of crypto. So we talked a lot about what this could look like on abstract and what that would mean, right? And what we could do there. So the biggest thing that we were focusing on is how do we work together to onboard the next few million people. And I think from a distribution standpoint, like that's the number one thing when you're talking about Web3 products is how do you deal with distribution, and how do you get distribution, and how do you market this product to folks that are not just in our little ecosystem and bubble. And I think abstract has really done a phenomenal job with like the branding and the marketing, but like first of all, the 0 to 1 experience is seamless. And that's really important for us because we want to be able to run an Instagram ad on a story, swipe up on the story, onboard someone, they see a Darth Vader Cryptoy, swipe up to unbox, boom, you're in it, like, and you're within like 30 seconds. We know, you guys both know, once every step you add to an onboarding process lowers your conversion rate by like 50%, right?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you have to deal with speed. Like if your website's slow, it's not loading, all that stuff. So, I think they really got it. And then like, there's a saying in entrepreneurship, ask a first-time entrepreneur what they care about. They care about product. Ask a second-time entrepreneur what they care about. They care about distribution, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Because that's the name of the game. Like an okay product with great distribution will beat a phenomenal product with no distribution every single time, right?
Yeah.
So that was a big focus for us with abstract, is like, getting the 0 to 1 experience down and really being part of this consumer hub for crypto. And as you guys know, that's Luca's vision, and the whole team at abstract, is like, that's how they market it and how they position it, and they've done a great job. So yeah. And
are you gonna be at Art Basel next month?
Yes, I'll be there.
That's one of my favorite events every year. I don't know if I'll get around to it this year.
Yeah.
But it's just a really cool mix of Web3 versus just like Miami art culture.
It's great. I love Art Basel, and for folks that are listening, like that's going to be a great event this year, and we're excited to meet a lot of folks there. So if you're in Miami around Art Basel time, definitely let me know.
Yeah,
it's like one of the big NFT events that hasn't like I guess went belly up. I think the NFT NYC. I don't know if they're really doing that anymore, but Basel's been like an incredible experience. I'm a big fan of like the direction where Miami's going. I think it has a good chance to be like a crypto capital of the US. I think Austin maybe potentially too, but I think Miami's got a big lead there. But I think the interesting thing here is like for me, when I think about you guys moving to abstract is that you and Luca share building, you guys have your own IPs. And I think that's a relatable thing between you two is obviously he's got Pudgy Penguins, and then you have the Cryptoys brand and the IP as well. And so I think that's very interesting. And I think I can already foresee possibly, I don't know if people are going to be ready for the Cryptoys Pudgy Penguin. I'm just speculating here, by the way. I think that would be a pretty dope drop. And
that would be cool. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. Yeah.
So I saw the Pudgy on your desk, so I was like, man, this got me thinking. My wheels are turning, and that would be.
I bought a Pudgy recently. You see, my PFP is now Pudgy. So like, I've just had incredible admiration for what Luca and the team over there has built, and I mean, there's just so much that they got going on to really help take this whole space into the next level. Not just through Pudgy Penguins, which is arguably the best crypto native Web3 IP out there right now from like a reach and distribution standpoint. What they do with like GIFs and Instagram and TikTok, it's phenomenal. But then this abstract vision as well has just been, I've been blown away by the positioning of it, the thoughtfulness of the product, how the portal is designed, how they're thinking about marketing, how they onboard again the next few million users to Web3 in a native way. So all the ingredients are there.
I have quite a few pudgy collectibles in my house, and I have 2 daughters, and they'll always like bring them up to me and be like, "Is this yours, Daddy?" And it's kind of funny because it's like a pink little pudgy penguin, so it looks like it'd be theirs. I was like, "Yeah, that one's mine." I buy them every time I like see them out. But yeah, I'm really big on Web3 native IP as well. Like I work, with Pizza Ninjas, which is a Bitcoin native IP, and we have a lot of the same vision as Pudgies do. Right? We actually won a short film and a New York Film Festival over the summer for one of our animations. But I admire Pudgies, and I completely agree with you. I think that they are the standard for as of right now of what we have for IP really breaking out of Web3. I mean, you have people like sending gifts to each other for Thanksgiving or what any time, that are pudgy penguins, and nobody knows about it.
Nobody knows. I get it from my mom. My mom's in her 70s, and she sends like random gifts throughout the day.
Yeah,
and they're pudgy penguin gifts, and she doesn't even know about it. You know what I mean? So
it takes so much to ship that, man. I mean, I don't. I want to. They were paying good money to push out some of the animations that they had. As somebody who works with animations, like like they've crushed it. It's been really good. So it makes sense why you and Luca would connect on this level. On the Cryptoys. So I guess I want to understand whatever you're allowed to share on the level of partnership here. Like, obviously, I went to your site already, the Cryptoys site, and I went to market, and it says, it's basically it's leveling up. Go to Discord for additional information. Yeah. I'm assuming the market itself will now take place integrated with Abstract.
Yeah, that's correct. So everything is going to be on Abstract, and that's one of the reasons that it's currently in maintenance mode right now. Is we're moving everything over, and that migration is happening. So the digital toy exchange will run on Abstract moving forward. But before, remember, we had a hybrid solution, which was like Flow and Polygon, right? Where you had the Flow stuff, and then you were able to, transfer to your wallet via Polygon and list it on the digital toy exchange, which is our marketplace that we partner with Wearable on. But now it's realistically all going to be, instead of Flow and Polygon, it's all going to be on Abstract.
Did you have a partnership with Dap Radar? I know some of the native, like some of the IP companies that we knew of did. Yeah. They recently are going to conclude. So this might just be user error. I'll go ahead and share my screen here. I have Cryptoys pulled up. I had some. Where's my stuff at? Am I logged into the wrong thing, or like?
You might be. And as part of this this Abstract migration, we're connecting AGWs to your backpack. So I love that we're doing bug fixing live on a podcast. So
I'm not saying there's a bug. It might be my end. I swear that this is
right. I'm glad you're so if this is happening to you, and if anybody that's watching is happening and you have stuff in your backpack that's not showing up, email us at support@cryptoys.com or go into the Discord. We'll take care of you right away. There's just a few. I would say 90% of them were flawless, but then there's maybe like 10% of them where we have to connect your AGW, match your AGW right to the same email address that your Cryptoys account was, and all this stuff. So it'll be there.
Maybe again, I could have used like a different email. Maybe I thought this was the email I used. Is there any way to verify? I mean, I went through my old emails, but
okay, cool. Yeah, we'll get it sorted for you one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to get you to troubleshoot while on the stream.
Oh, I love it.
I just wanted to look at where you guys are at, and if they are migrating right now, and all that. So is there anything like you want to so will these boxes now, like all the blind boxes that you guys did, these will be available to open on Abstract, or?
Yeah, so all the ones that you have in your backpack that you had previously bought will be migrated over. So it'll look exactly the same. And then we're relaunching some of the supply because we paused things as part of this relaunch. And we stopped selling things. So we're going to be, releasing some of that unsold inventory at there's going to be a lot of announcements on the inventory that's released. Like we're changing a lot of the strategy and making them much more scarce than they were before. So stay tuned for that. And it'll be a nice relaunch, and we're going to apply a lot of the lessons that we learned.
I can't wait to see you guys on this portal.
That's what I was just about to ask that. Yeah, the portal. When is that coming? Like, I would love to see that deep integration on Abstract for sure.
Stay tuned. We're cooking.
You like this little
Let's
gold,
go.
this nice gold wallet right here?
Oh, that's fresh right there.
I don't remember how many there are. I mean, there's not as many as you would think gold, and then the next level up is just like so hard to get to. But yeah, super excited to see this integration for you guys on on here. I would love to see you featured. Yeah, I think abstract is a great choice. So will all the collectibles just be they're going to be on abstract chain, like just like any other NFTs you have on abstract chain, or like how's that going to look?
Yeah, so you'll be able to log into your Cryptoys account and see them in your backpack like normal, but those will be on abstract, and then they will be listed also in your AGW as well.
And what about, so I remember I had this pulled up just for fun or whatever.
Yeah.
But literally I have some, including
Yeah.
on Kyle's podcast, me together. These are 2 years ago. It's
Yeah,
insane.
It's crazy.
I remember when you guys did this though, or when like during that time, you had some like 3D, like you could kind of take the Cryptoys unboxing and kind of bring them into this world.
Yeah.
Is that still moving in that direction, or have things changed on that, or?
You're still able to do that with certain collections, right? There's some other stuff custom that we're building for Disney and whatnot, but that's the beauty of Cryptoys, right? Is these aren't just static NFTs; these are fully rigged, controllable, game-ready assets, right? That we built in Unity and whatnot. So, the vision, I think, of what we're building, we refined with user feedback over time. I would say that, like, remember back in 2021, 2022. The buzzword was metaverse. It was everything metaverse, right? And when we talked with users, especially like Web3 users for sure, but also like more importantly, like who are these next potential folks joining the NFT space, like the targeted 10 million users that we want to bring in. They don't really, are excited by the idea of metaverse technology, right? Like, hey, spending time in a digital world and interacting with it. They like their small doses of it, but like the idea of like living in a metaverse and like having this metaverse world wasn't as exciting as like just like having fun with these toys and playing in different ways. Like, actually, folks were much more excited about mobile style games, like casual games that they can play while they're at the line at the grocery store. If they have only 5 minutes, they could pull out their phone and do something fun versus going into like what is like a quote unquote immersive style world. So a lot of like the refinements and thinking is around us building this digital toy company, and that's really how we market ourselves and how we're going to be marketing ourselves moving forward. We got a lot of interesting things that I can't announce just yet, but we'll announce shortly when we get into 2026 on how we're going to market to mainstream users. And a lot of this is kind of branding ourselves as the premier digital toy company, and on top of that, creating micro apps and experiences on top of this platform. So that constantly you're able to do new things with these toys. Remember, we're going for the Tesla of toys here. And the idea, is like with your Tesla, you can, people have heard me give this example all the time now, but it reigns true. It's like you can wake up on a Thursday morning and go to your Tesla, and all of a sudden, because of a software update, your car has new functionality that it's never had before. Where if you had an old school car, it is what it is until you get a new car. Same with a physical toy. You buy a physical toy, it is what it is until you get a new toy. With a digital toy, you will always get new updates and upgrades and things that you can do with these things. So our focus is like creating micro apps and experiences on top of this platform. So sure, you can play maybe a hyper casual game with your Cryptoy, but also what about utility-based apps like Homework Helper via AI, or like alarm clocks with your favorite toy, or weather bots with your toys, and like AR cameras and social experiences and things you can do, right? So like we're really focused on this, micro app experience inside of the proper platform, so that we constantly give fresh things for you to do with them. So we refined our thinking a lot in that regard.
Yeah, I remember a couple years back, you guys like patented like some AI system that would be kid friendly. Yeah. So I think you guys were like one of the first to really latch onto that idea.
Yes.
And fast forward to today, now you have like AI agents. Everybody's exploring this idea. But yeah, you guys, I feel like were one of the leading pioneers of like this, So I think that's something to be said. And
Summer of 2023, man.
Yeah.
Just in Cryptoys and Chat Guardian found a way to use AI to allow kids to interact with their digital collectibles in a safe way. That's crazy.
Right. Yeah, and that's the huge part of the vision, still is continuing to build on top of that. I mean, the world has changed so much just in those 2 years on how to integrate AI and in what scale and in what ways and what protective measures you can do. So we're going to continue to build on that foundation, and we could potentially, accelerate on a lot of fronts there. So that those are experiences and things that once we launch the mobile app and get the platform back out there, at scale, that we're going to be introducing. So that's when I talk about micro apps and experiences. That's one of them.
I love that, man. I love that. I know we've kind of been on specifically abstract a lot, but I don't think I like directly asked, and maybe it's a hard hitting question, but like, what was the decision to go from flow to abstract?
So it wasn't one specific thing. There's like multiple things that we had to factor in that led us to it. But the two most important things, and I mentioned it early on, is that it has to be the best 0 to 1 experience. It has to be a seamless 0 to 1 experience for somebody that doesn't have a crypto wallet. To all of a sudden creating a crypto account and getting into the application, right?
Yeah, using your email.
Yeah, and Abstract does a phenomenal job with that. And then look what you have pulled up on the screen right now. This has never existed. A portal like this, an app store for Web3 apps, where you have discoverability and an underlying ecosystem with shared perks and incentives, where users can like half of the apps I download on my phone, I go pull up the app store, I see what the top apps are, I see what's trending, right? I discover apps through the distribution platform of the Apple App Store. And this is a first in the Web3 space, is this discoverability and type of distribution. So those were the key drivers in that sense of why we picked it.
Yeah,
it's
no, that makes sense. I'm asking from a user perspective on both, right? Like, I use BZ multiple times a week. They're partnered with Flow. Doodles is on Flow, but also like I have tons of stuff on Abstract. But like I said, Kyle and I are probably, I don't know if we're like, I would say power users, I guess. I mean, we're not like Eli level to where we're plat or whatever, but we've been using Abstract since the beginning and have there's a while we do these streams every week. There's a while we would do one new app a week, exactly what you just said. We would go to the spotlight apps, we would say, oh, this looks cool, and we would play it at the end of the stream just to do it right. And honestly, that's one of the ways we worked our way up to gold, was just by like playing all the apps. And there are some good ones. Gigaverse is a really good one. A really good, really fun game. There's a lot. We're actually live on stream right now on Abstract too. We actually got a comment, which is funny. We don't normally go live on Abstract. It just felt really fitting to to go live during this. But we're somewhere in here. I do think they make the streaming visibility a bit better, or just the experience. You don't really get that much more XP for streaming, if any. And discoverability is tough, even for the top streamers. They kind of rely on clips more. That would be something I'd like to see. They did just open it up to all gold users, opposed to like at the beginning you had to be selected in order to stream, but now it's open to everybody. But yeah, I mean, I really, again, big fan of Luca, what he's been building, and just Abstract in general. So to see you guys make the announcement, which I have pulled up too.
I would say
the announcement.
Just like I agree with Will on the fact that like the distribution side, the portal, the Abstract portal, like I'm surprised like other chains and other people haven't done it yet, but Abstract I think did a really good job of that, of like giving users something to do, right? You log into the portal, you see all these different apps. I would say Cryptoys is probably the one app that is like brings a lot of credibility to Abstract. So I think what was missing for me on Abstract was like kind of that quality application. Not to say that there's not, like Gigaverse has been super popular. One of my buddies actually cosplayed as the Gigaverse like main character at one of the GDC events in San Francisco, which was hilarious. It was awesome. And there's some good fun apps in there, but when you're talking about IP, you're talking about Cryptoys, like obviously, like looking at that animation, like I there's like no other app right there that's like that S tier quality of a product. So I think like hand in hand, like you guys are gonna fit really well in there, and yeah, I'm super excited about hopefully having that app on the very top there and giving people something to stream with, and being able to tag Cryptoys and stream that live is gonna be pretty sweet.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Let's see what we can do to get that banner up for sure.
How do you see the like future of, and it probably was answered by your last one talking about these like multiple apps being built on this, like the balance of big IP like Disney coming to apps coming to Web3 like blockchain tech, but also the opposite happening, like the Web3 native IP like also reaching the mainstream. I don't know, like I guess that's two separate questions, but like what's your ideal integration with like, you know, these massive companies like getting value, both the company and the consumer, out of being in Web3?
Yeah, look, I think the biggest thing is, you know, to market towards, like, from an IP perspective, you need something that's recognizable. You need to be able to target folks that have big fan bases, right? Like, again, we'll give props to NBA Top Shot here, right? Like, a lot of people join because they're basketball fans first and foremost, and they're fans of the NBA and their favorite teams, and they saw that they could get digital forms of it, and they were able to onboard that way, and then that discovered all the other stuff within Web3 and the Web3 native IP. So I think brand familiarity and being able to market towards a fan base that has a lot of fans is really, really important. You get that discoverability that then they can be like, wow, I saw Darth Vader ad for a digital toy. I never bought a digital toy before, but that looks really cool. They buy it, and then they discover our IP, the ZooFO Escape IP, and then the functionality that one provides. And then they can dive into the world of broader NFTs and discover pudgy penguins and bored apes and whatever, and doodles and whatnot, right? So I think they each play their different lanes. For us, like, we go back to the idea that we're building the world's premier digital toy company. And like a traditional toy company, like you look at like Mattel or Hasbro, right? Like they have they license IP, right? So they license from Disney and Warner Brothers and whatnot, but then they have things that they own outright. Like Mattel owns Barbie. They don't have to ask anybody for approvals on Barbie, right? Or Masters of the Universe or Hot Wheels. Hasbro is the same. They license from Disney and all these big Hollywood studios, but they also have Transformers, right? They also have G.I. Joe, fully owned IP that they can control what they do with, et cetera, right? So you have to have a mix, especially if you're going to be a toy company, or even a next generation toy company, where you have your fully owned IP and the licensed IP. And the idea is that you can, market towards this bigger fan base and do a great job with that could then lead to discoverability of all the other things. So,
yeah, I was thinking that too. I don't know if you're uncomfortable answering, just feel free to we'll go to the next question. But does Cryptoys plan on supporting, I know you have your own native IP that I have on the screen right now.
Yep.
Do you plan on supporting Web3 native IP as well? Can we expect pudgy penguins in the form of these boxes or?
So I would say absolutely we want to work with a lot of Web3 native IP, and we're creating a line of products that's coming soon that will allow us to do that in a very scalable way. We have multiple lines of toys. We have the hero line, which you see here. Everything we've launched to date has been a hero line, which has been this $39.99 price point and whatnot. But then we have other lines coming, the elites and the adventurers, that are priced much cheaper. And those type of toys will allow, for example, when we do a Star Wars line, people don't realize that takes us 4 to 6 months to make that line, with all the approvals and the back and forth and the high quality animations. There's a lot of love that goes into those things and a lot of hard work.
I bet.
But we also want products that are cheaper for people to purchase, but also we can make them a lot quicker and get them to market. So we're creating a product that soon will be able to collaborate with any particular holder, right? Like the Pizza Ninjas, for example. Yeah. And if you guys want to do a line on Cryptoys, we can make a line on Cryptoys for you guys, right?
That's awesome.
If we want to make, the Degen Dad Cryptoy line,
that'd be sick.
And you guys launch it, and you want to do half of the proceeds go to charity, we can do that, right? Yeah. So that's all coming. So what you see here on the screen is just a fraction of all the things we got planned. That's working right now in the pipeline. Web3 native IP is going to be a huge part of it for sure.
Hey, if you guys, awesome. When you guys really take off, when you launch everything, I'm gonna hold you to what you just said.
We're gonna make it happen.
When we want our Degen Dads line of toys to come out, and it would be freaking awesome to have a percentage go to a orphanage or some type of charity to help kids, maybe cancer. I would love to do that. That's something I've never really cared for, launching my own NFT project or whatever, but in a very fun way that. That's would, especially if it support a good cause, and it's just take all speculation for me out the window. I wouldn't want people to I would want people to buy it, enjoy it, support, and go to a cause. I wouldn't want for my end to flip, but I know some people speculation is part of the market.
I'm
People are-
buying if I'm launching a Degen Dad toy, I'm the first in line to buy.
Hey, there you go.
So,
I
you
love
know,
it.
yeah.
I love it. Yeah, that's and I'm so glad you came. We're not concluding yet, but I'm glad you came on because I mean that's what Kyle and I like. You know, we take pride in, right? Like degens because like we do a bunch of speculation, we do a bunch of like all kinds of stuff. We went from like meme coins to leverage trading to everything that's going on in the market, new launches, everything like that.
Yep.
But then they were dads. You know, we got to take care of our kids, and
Yeah.
we do hold ourselves to a standard of like not being too like we're not staying up 12 like you know grinding for 12 hours and you know overnight because we got responsibilities.
Yeah.
100%.
So I think you fit in really great with a guest on this podcast.
Thanks, man. Call me in anytime. I'll be the honorary third co-host every now and then. You know?
Dude, you got a good setup.
There you go.
I like your setup a lot.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I just realized I only have one. I do have one. I have multiple pudgies in my setup, but I only have one with me right now. It's this little guy right here. It's
Nice.
Molly Pudgy.
Yeah, man, the kids love the pudgies. It's just
They do.
yeah. Even in my own house, they just run around, and it's such a lovable IP that you don't even have to know anything about it to be gravitating towards it. You know,
I have a ton of it because I went to a lot of. I've been to a lot of events, and so every time I stack up on pudgy stuff, and then anytime like we have the store called Five Below. I don't know if you guys have those.
Yeah.
And they usually have like random pudgy stuff in there, and so it's pretty cool. I usually load up when I'm there.
Amazing.
Yeah, just seeing Pudgy in Walmart when they launched that was absolutely insane. Like
Incredible.
huge moment for, you know, Web3 native IP, and maybe perhaps one day you guys will be there.
Yeah, let's see. We're definitely trying to get on that path for sure.
And on your native IP, the main character is Alfie. I don't.
Yes,
Alfie.
That's based off your dog, right?
So no, that was inspired by Alfonso's dog.
Oh, okay.
Corgi.
You got to forgive me. It's been quite some time.
No,
I do have some of the OGs though. I know I do.
Yeah.
I like I said multiple times, like we spent a lot of time with Cryptoys at the beginning. So yeah, it's just like it's like one of your favorite TV shows. You know, you're waiting on the next season, and then you found out that they're making a next season, and you're like, yes. That's how I feel.
I know, like, yeah, a lot of people still remember you guys, even like the bigger channels out there. I think you're on Paul Bear Network.
Yep.
We were sharing a little bit of information about your guys' migration to Abstract. So I know there's still like appetite for like obviously IP and collectibles like you guys, of course. So it's gonna be interesting to see. I think like, you know, with this space, like things are just going cycles. And like you said, like just staying alive is like obviously the big one. And then on the back of that, like eventually these things will take off. And I guess my next question would be like, when can we expect like the Star Wars line to relaunch, or like a full integration with Abstract and kind of like this full ready to go, like Cryptoys is like locked in and fully like relaunched? Is that like?
Yeah, I'd say sooner than most people think. It'll be relatively soon. We're finalizing a few things, and you should see some announcements coming out that'll have launch dates and more information. So
Yeah,
definitely.
and is that gonna be so like the marketplace? Like you said, everything's gonna be on Abstract. Is that gonna be kind of like easy to access within Abstract, or is it gonna be you log into Cryptoys and kind of get everything done like in app in terms of the marketplace?
So there'll be you'll be able to go into Cryptoys, log into Cryptoys like you normally have, and then you're able to then send inside Cryptoys. You're able to send it, you know, there's like a teleportation kind of thing that you can do, and you're able to connect that to your the digital toy exchange, which is our marketplace. You connect that to your AGW, and you're able to list the toys there.
Yeah,
So,
that's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, one thing I noticed about Abstract is like the login. It's like universal. Obviously similar to Dapper, but I would say obviously a little bit easier. I think from my experience, just logging into the different games, things like that. Just like a couple clicks and you're logged in. And I noticed other layer twos like Immutable X, like it's actually pretty hard to like figure their UI out. And I was like, I'm pretty shocked actually because their focus is just on average gamers, but really love how easy it's been to just log in with Abstract Wallet and just like
Yeah.
get it done right then and there. Just like boom, boom, couple clicks, you're in, and you're like fired up and ready to go.
Yeah, I saw Luca did a podcast the other day, and he mentioned he has something called the barista test, which is you give your phone to like a barista at Starbucks that has never used Web3 or crypto or whatnot, and can that person, you say, hey, mint an NFT, can they do it and figure it out without asking you any questions? And
I
that's
like that.
the test that he puts in place when it comes to onboarding onto Abstract, right? So that's the goal, right? Is we want to spend money on marketing, but if we spend money on marketing, that when you get that swipe up moment on a story or a click through, that it converts, right? Okay,
Yep.
intention has been shown, I'm interested, but then is it too complicated? Well, if it's too complicated, nobody's coming into the space, right? So how do you make it super, super seamless? So we're excited to be, working with the team that is focused on making that really simple and continuing to get better and better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
quick question. Somebody asked, "Is this play to earn?" I guess my question to rephrase that is like, I remember the mini game was like Flappy Bird with like Alfie, and you could eventually you'll be able to like use a different collectible possibly in there and like these mini games. Is that going to be like something where there's some sort of abstract integration in that as well, or is that going to be just the games are just fun and just like you can use your collectibles in them? Like, what's that going to look like?
There's different elements that we're focused on from a gaming standpoint that also allows access to NFTs and certain things inside the games and unlockables. So if you want to call that play to earn, you can. I'm really focusing on marketing play to play, just play to play. And then if you have fun playing, you're gonna, obviously on a Web3 native product, you're gonna get assets and things that you can do that might have value to other people. So, and you can expect everything that we do in that is connected into the Abstract ecosystem. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's good to hear. Like I've seen a lot of good, huge raving reviews about I think it was Pudgy Party, the mobile game. One of my buddies, he runs a gaming guild and he plays all kinds of Web3 games. He loves that game. He was streaming it in his Discord server the other day. And I know those NFTs, like especially like I think it was like the Batman one.
Right.
The Batman themed Pudgy like was going for like at 1.4K or something wild.
Yeah.
And I think that's like a hallmark of like the success of the game. And even off the grid, that there's like some pioneer assets that I own that like are worth like a full set's worth like 4K. And again, those are just marks of a great game that's just fun to play. And then obviously the speculation side is just natural, and the marketplace obviously will work itself out. People will associate a price to all those things based on the value that they perceive it as. So love to hear that direction. Obviously, like I'm a huge gamer, love games, and I think as a dad, I'm getting to the point where I'm like, I just hyper casual is kind of the way to go. In my book. So
I'm with you on that. And again, you got to start with fun and entertainment, and it starts and stops there, right? Like I think if we want to get folks like your friend to play Pudgy Party and stream it and really enjoy it. I mean, like 4K for an in-game asset that's just an incredible, like when you think about it, right? Like how incredible is that, right? And we've gotten so desensitized because at one point some of our NFTs were worth like 100K, 150K, that like we look and like people are mad that the floor price, is currently of some of these PFPs, whether it's Bored Ape or Pudgy, they're still like $20,000. People are mad that it's worth 20. Can we like stop for a second?
Crazy.
Worth $20,000. You know what I mean? It's like
right.
We gotta like really kind of like get
like
out
comic
of
books that have been around for like 30 years like aren't even like worth $20,000. I mean, like for it to be worth that much, like that speaks a lot of volumes for sure.
Exactly. So that we really gotta find a way to simplify this and welcome new folks into the space. And the way to do it is just come because it's fun. Come because there's like-minded people. If you're a Star Wars fan, come because you love Star Wars and you want to talk to other Star Wars fans, right, in the community.
If you're a Degen Dads fan,
if you have that and start with that, then again, financialization and all that stuff is a byproduct of that success, right? Pokemon didn't start off talking about how much a first edition Charizard was on day one, right? It's like they just built an awesome IP and an awesome world, and 20 years later, because they did a great job with that, first edition Charizards are worth $100,000.
Dude, I'm 30 years old and I have Pokemon Pocket on my phone. I have like a Pokemon card right here. I have a Pokemon thing pulled up. I have ZA for my Switch 2. They built a pretty good product.
Yep.
I did tell everybody before you came that we would give away actually a Pokemon card during the space. or during this live stream. So I want to do that. I'll just pull on with you. So this is Beezy, and there's 4 categories. Today we're going to go with the multi-category 30. And this is going to go to somebody that comments on the Degen Dads podcast video. That's actually, so you have to follow Degen Dads podcast on Twitter, and you have to comment on the live from today. Now, we are live multi-platform, so like, I realize that not everybody's following on here, but if you want to enter this giveaway, this is how you do it, and we'll pick later today. I'll remind people from my Twitter, that's how you do it later. But let's see what you get, because you can get up to something. You can get this Garchomp right here. That's worth $611 possibly on this pool.
Oh, man.
Or you could just get like, a base 2002 Alakazam. You don't know. So the average value is 33. We're going to pull it, and whatever this is, chat's going to get it.
It's amazing.
So let's go ahead and pull this thing and see what they get.
Yeah, these gotcha things on Pokemon, like RWA stuff, has been really, really cool to see like take off, and like people are just farming BZ, farming Digitals. Me and Chris love BZs though, because I don't know, we feel like we get really good odds, and we've won some really good stuff here. And yeah, it's been a pretty good platform to use.
All right, so 2023 Japanese Shiny Treasure EX Pidgeot tag 9. That's what you're going to get for the win. It's $18. You can sell it back if you want. You can keep it. You can ship it to your house if you just want the card. That's the beauty of RWAs. And yeah, thank you guys for participating. We'll do more giveaways like that. One last shout out while we're here is Kyle and I do have a school community, and it's very active. Kyle did a 10-minute video on the state of the market one day ago from Kyle's Key Levels. We have a full classroom. We have 116. We do live calls. We have 116 members currently.
Looks like somebody's pending request.
Yes, somebody's pending right now. And yeah, this is just basically to take you from A to Z with crypto. If you've never used it before, to being able to do like DeFi, yield, and basically everything you need to know. So it's a freemium model, so it's free just to join. And then there's layers to it you'll see once you join the community. Just going to give that a quick shout out. And yeah, we're gonna wrap up in just a second. Stop sharing this. And Will, it was really nice having you on today, man. Would love to have you back once you guys maybe have another big announcement.
Yep.
I don't know whether that's a launch or just another announcement, and you can kind of update us and the viewers. You got the biggest bro in here, by the way. He is a VV OG. He was here at the beginning, but we were chatting it up. Let's go. Come on, Charizard.
love the biggest bro.
Yeah, we still got a lot of VVOGs in the community, still, watching the show, and even on X, in the comments and things like that. So people are definitely still around from back in the day. So love to see it. And yeah, it was a pleasure to have you on. And perhaps we'll be giving away Cryptoys boxes maybe eventually too.
Yes.
Hey, I got to get my account plugged in over as well. I think I still have like some unopened like holocrons and stuff. Like, as a collector, I'm like, should I open it or should I just keep it in the holocron?
That's part of the beauty of the platform, right? It's your choice and different benefits there. But yeah, thank you guys for having me on. Had a great time. Always kicking. It's just like hanging with old friends here.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And, I would absolutely love to join future ones. We do have a lot of announcements coming. So, anytime you guys see one of those, or I'll give you guys a heads up, maybe we can, schedule a time to chat.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Hit us up. And yeah, it would be cool to give away some Cryptoy stuff on the stream. Yep. And we're consistent. We're here every week, and we are unlike a lot of coverage out there. We are multi-platform. I mean, we are everywhere. And while we're trying to grow the Degen Dad socials independently, Kyle and I have a decent following across all platforms that we do like short form content and like videos and stuff like that. So I mean, you're talking about hitting people on Instagram that see, Cryptoys. Like we're also trying to reach those people via our podcast clips or podcast episodes and all that. So I think it'd definitely be a good fit to have you back on.
Would love it, man. Yeah, anytime.
Sweet. Well, thank you, Kyle. Anything else?
No. I guess go to Abstract and refresh the page daily until you see Cryptoys up there.
Oh, yeah. That is something. What would you say for people to prepare for the launch? Like just
sign up for a Cryptoys account. Go to cryptoys.com. Make sure you're signed up to your email address and your username is registered. Connect your AGW. If you don't have an AGW, go get one. Pretty simple process there. And then just be ready, because we got a lot of announcements coming, and we'll keep everybody posted when the first few drops are there. And then we have multiple announcements, new partnerships, and things like that that'll be announced shortly too.
Ooh.
So,
All right.
Awesome.
Love
Appreciate
to
it,
see
man. Thank you so much, Will. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Everybody that tuned in, be sure to enter the giveaway via Twitter. That way you can get that Pidgeot, and we'll see you guys next week. We'll probably do the podcast a little earlier next week because of Thanksgiving. We'll keep you guys updated on social, and see you next time.
Awesome.